What?
Because the people who think that they are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who usually do. And what do you mean by changing the world? Good morning, class. Today I want to tell you about a great character who had a thesis statement, a clear thesis statement from the beginning, which was to make a change in the world. Steve Jobs. I will first inform you about his early life, and then we will talk about his achievements and the challenges he's faced. And then we will conclude together if he really did change the world. Now let's talk about his early life. According to the book Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, he said, Steve's biological parents, they had difficulties in getting married. So they decided to put the baby up for adoption. He was then adopted by Clark Jobs and Paul Jobs, who came from a lower middle class. His father taught him how to work with electronics by making him, they assembled them and he built them again, like TVs and radios. And his mom taught him how to read before he went to school. Steve Jobs was clever to the point where administrators wanted to skip him ahead to high school, but his parents declined that proposal. 6 months after he joined Reed College in Portland, United States, he dropped out. But still he educated himself informally. He liked arts, especially he liked music. He signed up for calligraphy classes. He liked music, especially the Beatles. He slept on the floors of his friends' dorms and returned Coke bottles for good money. So now that you know who Steve Jobs is, let's talk about the real game of computer's evolution. It all started in 1976 when Steve met the other Steve, Steve Wozniak. That's him on the left. Steve Wozniak is the inventor of the Apple I computer. The thing about Apple I computer, it required a whole room to be operated and with a large cost. See this beautiful device? It needed such a huge cost to be operated, but Steve Jobs knew that this is not going to work. So his solution to this was the Apple II. You see, at this point, you will know who Steve Jobs really is. He's the guy who never felt satisfied. He always wanted things to be done in a better way. After days and nights of working in their family garage, it all started from here, the creativity. They came with the Apple II. It made a huge success. It had an attached keyboard and a color screen, which opposed to the Apple I computer, which you had to buy in separate pieces. And yeah, the Apple II made a huge revenue for them, and according to Isaacson, after a year of selling the Apple II computer, they made $2.7 million. And 3 years later, they made $200 million. Like imagine, from the first day you joined university until this day, you are listening to my great speech, they made $200 million. That's a lot of money for a small company who just started. After a while, they worked in the new project, Project Lisa. Lisa did not sell very well due to the existence of other computers sold by IBM, the International Business Machine. They sold them at a cheaper price and higher efficiency. After the launch of the Lisa project, the Apple board wanted an experience. They wanted an experienced executive to run the company. Jobs interviewed many people before he focused on someone from outside the technology world. Outside the technology world, John Scully, the CEO of Pepsi. Scully wasn't interested in the beginning. And he said himself, Jobs looked down at his running shoes, and he looked at me again and said, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or you want to come with me and change the world? That's John Scully on the right and Steve Jobs on the left. A few weeks after, he was working with Apple as the CEO. In 1981, the Apple team met, and they decided to take Steve Jobs out of the company. They said he wasn't experienced enough. They wanted someone to run the Lisa team properly. And guess whose decision was it? It was John Scully's decision. The guy whom Steve Jobs has hired himself. After he got bounced from Apple, he became the CEO of Pixar, the animation company. He had a new story to tell, a story of Toy Story. The world was dazzled by the release of the Toy Story movie. It made a huge success. According to CNN Money.com, in 2006, Disney bought Pixar for $7.4 billion. And think different. Now it's been 10 years of an Apple without Steve. After Steve left the company, it lost its compass, it lost its mission. Its product gets old and stale, said Michael Mortis, a venture capitalist. And by the time Microsoft got stronger by 8%, and Apple's market share was barely 11%. After Pixar, Steve had a new project. This guy never stops, he's always working, he's always active. He designed a product that's called Next. It's a personal computer that also had its own software, which was called Next Step software. And Apple bought Next for $400 million and returned Steve Jobs back to work. A few weeks after he joined Apple, he invented the Macintosh, which was a huge step to the revolutionary world of technology. But still, the company was in trouble. They wanted a hint to break the market even better. So Steve's obsession with music inspired him to come with the iPod. The iPod went from concept to market in 8 months, which is a really small period for a new product to be released. Like imagine from all of this to all of this right here. Now enough with the girl, think different. The iPod had also its drawbacks. People turned to illegal music sharing. At that time, illegal music sharing was trending in the United States, so Steve Jobs thought the solution to this should be the iTunes Store, which is a software that would combine all of the music from different producers and sell them online. Everyone in the music industry was scrambling. What do we do? After Steve came with a new software, the iTunes, which was launched in 2003, most of the producers, they really agreed to put their songs, their music online in the store. The landscape of the music industry has completely changed, and it was stable again. And he knew there was a source of revenue from the sharing of your music, says Ben Gershman, the bass player of the band OAR. Music stores has closed back then. I mean, what's the point of them? There are no point of them anymore. And this is what the whole idea behind the letter I. I mean, the iPod, the iPhone, the iMac. The I means it's personal, it's mine, and most available. The most important, it's available. So, I'm happy. In 2003, Jobs has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He survived for 7 years, and in 2007, Steve was back for the most important event, the iPhone. The iPhone made so much buzz that there wasn't a goat farmer in Afghanistan that hadn't heard about it, says Linda Kenny, the author of the book Cult of Mark. Unfortunately, every great story has an end. And in 2011, Steve stepped down from Apple, and 6 weeks after, he stepped down from life, leaving Apple to be the most valuable company in the world. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Were the last words Steve has said in his last speech. He was not only an inventor, he was an inspirational role model, who inspired many people, including me. Steve is a great character, and if you have nothing to say about him, there must be something wrong with you. Said Dr. Mike Sufyan, American University of Sharjah, 2015. Now, the question I want to ask you, remember the first question I asked you? Did Steve really change the world? And by changing the world, what do you mean? Because the world is our lifestyle, and by changing our lifestyle, we surely change the world. And I also would like to conclude by asking another question. If Steve hadn't made the comeback to Apple, do you think he would have accomplished what he has? Thank you.
Brilliant. Good job.
So I messed up really bad.
You did?
No, with what is it?
See, comment, you guys comment for him on that. When he fumbled through the papers,
And then he smiled.
did you think it was so terrible?
No.
No.
Believe me, when you read
We were chill about it,
it's not
so-
that
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
As long as you are relaxed in a speaking situation and you handle whatever comes your way calmly, like you did, it's not bad. People don't remember the glitches when they're like that. Had you panicked and stopped talking and had a meltdown, okay, fine, then we would make fun of you. But the fact that you just kept going, just found your notes, is absolutely
I
fine.
mean, I could have done it better. I could, but
We can always do it better. No speech is perfect, remember that. The one thing I would have liked to hear more was the sources. I mean, you had several sources, but the life of Steve, where is that information
from
from?
a single book.
The book is.
The one you mentioned.
Okay. See, I would like him to just have been reminded of that a little bit, because just for the credibility's sake. So I believe that what you're telling me is actually
I
from the
focused
life.
more on the inventions and
No, but you also talked a lot about his life in a really good way, because you related his personal life to his career. So there were moments, I mean, you didn't talk about how he was a horrible husband, but that's fine.
He was?
He was a bad husband. But I have a question for you, just,
sure.
do you feel like you changed your opinion of Steve Jobs
Of
after
course,
this?
that's why I just like him today, running shoes, jeans, and
Yeah. Is he inspiring?
yeah.
He is.
After I read about him, he's a great guy.
He is, right? And do you feel, well, he was when he was, do you feel like he is someone who can inspire students because he worked so
Because he
hard?
never
But
stopped.
then he dropped.
He didn't quit, he never quit.
He dropped out of college, yeah. He dropped out of college.
So that didn't stop him. Even if he got once from police when he got kicked out, he still didn't stop.
He didn't
He
stop.
kept continuing to work.
And he worked very hard. I agree. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.